amazing. It does.
Well, these youth that we're meeting up every week, you know, these are our ideas, and you know, all these youth said, you know, it'd be nice to be able to go to a place and have all of this stuff there. And so it started off as an idea, and then therefore we materialized the idea.
That's so exciting when something starts off as a thought or an idea, and then all of a sudden here is the reality. I know I've had the good fortune to have that a few times in my life, and it's wonderful. You talk about AHO being nurturing, and I'm getting a feeling that is something that these youth need desperately, and that AHO provides. Tell us about that nurture piece.
Well, it's nothing less than just unconditional love. You know, you have nurture in nature, and you know, it doesn't matter who you are or what the circumstances is. You know, we're a firm believer that positivity will lead to positive things. So, you know, even though people might be negative, we still want to provide unconditional love, because we feel like no matter what, only good things can come from it, you know. And I find that especially if youth want to push away, they're having difficulties, they don't want to be involved with AHO, you know, we still make a point to reach out to these youth and let them know how much we care about them. Yeah, it's unconditional.
So you've seen a lot of changes in people who might be resilient or who may not fully trust, and then once you embrace them and they come into your organization and your hearts, they change.
Big time, and it's a growing process. But you know, the biggest, you know, I would think that the most important thing that a youth will have to have is they need to have the want to do better and to be independent. And that's one beautiful thing about AHO, is that we're building a relationship, a partnership between the youth and the organization.
And Kevin's contributed to that with his wonderful dog Zeus.
We do have a mascot, which you know, we guess you could have the metaphor of, you know, man's best friend. You know, he'll love you no matter what, and so it's important to show people that we know we're very well-rounded.
And that you've learned that trait, and you exhibit that trait as well. You've learned that trait from Zeus, that unconditional love. I think more humans can do well to learn that.
Definitely. Well, in a world full of you know, a lot of negative things, we want to, you know, that's why we call it a safety net. It's a safe haven, you know, a place where you don't have to worry, you know, and that should give you confidence, where if you go out there, no matter if you fail, you do have a safe place that, you know, you can be safe at. We also, you know, opened up an emergency shelter too. So, you know, it's not a permanent housing, but if a youth is having an issue and is on the streets, we'll actually put a roof over their head, you know, and we'll give them a safe place, you know, for, you know, anywhere from a day to 4 days or so, depending on how long it takes, to pair them up with a, you know, an adult that has an extra room in their house that's able to, you know, be a mentor to them.
So those are the different levels of residence. An emergency,
Yep.
safe house, and that accommodates how many kids?
1 to 2 for up to 10 days.
Up to
Well,
10
as
days.
Kevin said, we connect them with the resources they need, and
Okay.
hopefully the next step, which is a room in a home with a host family.
With a host family, and that can be for how long?
It could be several months. It depends. Each case's situation is very different.
And then ultimately, you go with
Ultimately, all youth want to be in their own apartment.
Independent.
Independent with peers, so 3 youth can be in an apartment for approximately $400 a month. It takes a while to get to that stage, but that's the ultimate goal, and we support them in that process.
And during this process of moving from the emergency shelter to the pair apartment, I guess you help them find employment so that they can
Absolutely.
pay their own rent
Yes.
and be independent.
Employment, legal help, doctors and dentists, whatever they need, typically what a parent would provide or help
And
to
I mean,
provide.
a lot of the youth that I've seen, you know, their number one goal is to get educated. So more than likely, you know, them getting financial aid and going to school is like utmost important to them. So linking up with AHO, helping them find a job and housing, and hooking them up with the schools, it's a very good program to just, you don't need to go to all these different other programs to
And
get.
everything is contained within AHO. And you also had told me before, and I think we've mentioned this previously, that there are certain community businesses who are open to employing some of the youth that you recommend.
Yes, that's true.
I think Whole Foods is one.
Pete's Coffee, REI, and we're working on getting a partnership with a green business, and we're always working to expand the possibilities of the resources that we can offer youth. One of the things Kevin is instrumental in building for us is outreach in the schools, and you may want to speak about.
Yeah, I mean, one of the outreach we did was with another nonprofit, which were kids from Redwood High School, and they have a nonprofit called Trade for Hope. And what they did is they put a fundraiser on, and I want to say that sponsored us, I guess. So their fundraiser sponsored AHO, and they raised just about $800 for us in one day, which was also really cool to feel the support from also, younger kids too that aren't even in situations that they're, at risk of being homeless or whatnot. So that was very gratifying, to know that. Yeah, they definitely supported us. And Santa Fe High School, they were having an issue, I guess, with gangs, and one of our success stories was asked to actually talk to the principal to give her advice and help try to combat this gang and issue that Santa Fe High School was having. That's Vincent Chu. I don't know if he's been very popular I've seen him on Marin IJ before, and he's works a lot with a lot of different nonprofits.
And so he actually came to your organization to find somebody who can help him understand the mentality of youth gangs and how to
he actually
deal
has
effectively.
a personal experience. I wouldn't want to speak so much on his behalf, but from my understanding, he actually comes from New York, and he was involved in gangs out there. And so he came out here, and he was working with AHO, and we were building a relationship with him. And from him working with AHO, we actually worked with Santa Fe, and Santa Fe asked us if we knew of anybody, and we linked them together.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I wish we had a couple of hours because there are so many things I want to. But I do want to just say kudos, congratulations, and a great deal of respect to the businesses, the organizations, the professionals who offer their time and their services and their open arms to employ and help these kids. It's wonderful to know that in our county we have so many of these people, and hopefully we'll have even more who understand what you're doing and how big the need is.
Tuscalito Tire has been one of our huge supporters, so I want to shout out for Tuscalito. We've had at least a dozen car washes for a cause there.
Excellent. There are so many things that you've done, Kevin, in the course of being with AHO. You've been a spokesperson to the media. You spoke, as you said, to the Susan Adams' aide from the Board of Supervisors. You launched Safe Haven Emergency Housing. You're the co-founder of the AHO Youth Task Force. You work with Trade for Hope at Redwood High School, as you said, and you do an AHO radio talk show, Festival for a Cause, car washes, weekly, and probably more than weekly, involvement in making AHO the success it is and bringing so many fine services to youth. It's just wonderful to be sitting here with somebody who's so motivated and who's making such a huge difference.
Well, if you ever seen some of our pictures, that we will put in the Marin IJ, when we do these type of events, there's 30, sometimes more people, and I wish I could have all of them here with me because we wouldn't be able to have the success we have without all of the people. And it's just, there's just too many names to name sometimes, but especially working with AHO for the last, 3+ years, I can definitely say it's so nice to see what people can still do, because especially in a world with, war and terror and stuff, it's very nice to know that when people come together, we could accomplish some very extraordinarily things.
It sounds as though you can. It sounds as though AHO is a totally embracing, accepting, and loving community for the people who need it.
For the people who need it, and Kevin, the community service hours that youth can.
That's a beautiful thing too, where because we are approved with the county, we're able to, if youth are working with us, we can give them community hours, community service hours. So where one, they might be doing their hours at something that they just dread and they hate, their community service hours could be done, enriching their lives.
And giving back. Very
all
important.
at the same time. And it's a beautiful thing that knows that when a youth is given community service, it's not so much a punishment as if something that's there to prevent them from getting community service again. Prevention.
Wonderful. Excellent. And I know you have your very strong personal goals. One of the things we've talked about is you want to have a self-sustaining organic farm and raise animals. And I wish you a lot of good luck with that. And Zara, I know you wanted to talk a little bit just about where most of your funds do come from, because it is an expensive program to run.
Our funding comes from individuals, faith communities, small foundations, and we're always reaching out to the community to support us in that. And we've had the Victor and Corrine Rice Family Trust give us a challenge grant that the dollars will be matched dollar for dollar from that fund.
I wish you a lot of success.
Thank you. It's been wonderful to be on your program, Martina.
Well, it's been great having you for our 3 shows, and Kevin, having you here tonight. So we have Zara Babitsky, founding director of Ambassadors of Hope and Opportunity, and indispensable Kevin Ippolito, who has done a great deal and has learned and grown on his own behalf as well as given back. It's time to say goodnight now. I'm Martina Bedard. It's been a pleasure being with you this evening. I want to thank our Soroptimist crew, the crew of the Novato Public Access TV station, and I want to remind you again, be kind to yourselves and be kind to others. Good night.